All right, apologies to the viewers out there for that break in the interview that we're having with our South African Auditor General, Kimi Makwetu, who's just released the audit results for the country's municipalities in Pretoria. This happened yesterday. The audit results reveal an amount that runs into billions in irregular expenditure during the 2012-2013 financial year. Limpopo, the Northwest, the Eastern Cape and the Free State did not receive a single clean audit. Now, again, talking to the Auditor General himself, Kimi Makwetu, in studio. I know that there has been an improvement, and those are that's the story we're looking at, I suppose, the positive of it, that there has been a slight increase. But let's really look at the reality of the situation. I mean, this money has just disappeared where it should be used for the betterment of those individuals and citizens living in those provinces. How does this happen? What is at fault here?
Maybe, Leanne, let me just paint a context for the listeners and the viewers. We audited a total amount of about 268 billion for the year 2012-2013, covering all the 278 municipalities plus 41 municipal entities. Yeah. We came to conclusions on each one of those municipalities, where almost 30 of them achieved what is called a clean audit. And if I can quickly run through the three things that we test in a clean audit. The institution must be able to present a fair and reliable set of financial statements to us, which we can say we are happy with. Secondly, they must report on their activities in a manner that is accurate and reliable, and we are happy with that. And thirdly, they must comply with all the laws and regulations that govern financial matters insofar as municipalities are concerned. That's the third component of what gives rise to clean audit.
Okay.
So there are 30 such institutions out of the 319 that have achieved that objective, which we believe is a minimum standard by all accounts, because it's about being transparent and being credible in your reporting. So that's the one context in terms of the whole picture. The rest of them have got a combination of not complying with supply chain management rules, meaning that they lower the barrier to entry in the municipality, in the sense that for that total amount of 268 billion, 166 is in respect of supply chain management activities. That's where we're faulting them, to say they do not comply with the rules governing supply chain, and they are allowing all sorts of things to happen. Hence the irregular expenditure, the unauthorized expenditure, and the disclaimers of opinion, as well as the qualifications in the sector. Yeah. That's the overall picture that we have drawn in our report.
Okay. And you have drawn concern of the fact that 3.6 billion rand of irregular expenditure could not be accounted for.
We could not lay our hands on the documentation to substantiate what exactly those transactions to that extent were for.
What they were for.
And therefore we were not able to reach a conclusion as to whether they were fair or not.
Yeah. Now, when we break it down into the provinces, I mean, when we look at the amount in, let's take the Eastern Cape, for example, 717 million rand has been unaccounted for. The Eastern Cape is, from what I'm seeing from the numbers, it seems to be the worst performing province.
Well, it's in the company of a number of other provinces who've got a similar profile. However, the issues that we are highlighting in the audit are more pronounced in the province of the Eastern Cape. Yeah. They are more pronounced in the province of Limpopo, as well as the Northwest and Northern Cape. Yeah. So some of those issues that are so strongly indicative of a breakdown in controls are sitting largely in municipalities that are in those provinces.
Yeah. Let me correct myself, because the Northwest, in fact, has 2.8 billion rand in irregular expenditure. You know, we can keep looking at these numbers, and we seem to do that every single year. But what gets done about it?
We are emphasizing the role that leadership must play in this. Because if the leadership of the institution, both the executive leadership in the form of a municipal manager, as well as the council of the institution, if they set a strong tone in the institution to make sure that what they say is exactly what they do, the chances are that the people in the institution are going to follow what they do. And that's, I think, the major issue here. It's not about trying to make piecemeal interventions and bring skills, but I think we need to straighten up the role that leadership plays, because it's all set out in the Municipal Finance Management Act as to what they are expected to do at a minimum in driving governance and accountability.
It doesn't seem that there doesn't seem to be accountability, because this happens on an annual basis, that we do these audits. You look at the numbers, you get upset, we get upset, and yet it doesn't seem that anybody is held accountable for it. Shouldn't there be criminal intervention in some way, that somebody is held accountable?
For us, I think the starting point is that there are 30 institutions that are demonstrating that particular fit. They've done the things that we are recommending. Their leadership has gone out and found somebody with the appropriate skills in finance, and they've decided to implement controls that they also follow in their own right as leaders of those institutions.
Yeah.
And I think if everyone else can be encouraged to do the same, and if they are consistently not doing it, maybe there's a time for the stick to be applied.
Yeah. Just finally, we have a new minister in this position. He has a grand reputation from SARS. I'm talking about Pravin Gordhan from the Ministry of Finance. And now, of course, he is there. He is in these provinces, the municipalities. That's what he is in charge of. What was his reaction? What is he going to do about this?
Well, the minister spoke for himself yesterday on exactly the actions that he's proposing to take. But I also articulated them in his budget vote when he presented it about 2 weeks ago. So I think there are very clear actions that he is proposing. But I think what's also positive in terms of the role that the minister will be playing in local government is that he's one of the people who were involved in the initial architecture of what we have in local government. And we hope that that history will also help in driving a better outcome in the future.
All right, let's leave it there. The South African Auditor General, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming in and talking to us. Kimi Makwetu talking to us about the latest report that's come out that's audited, showing the results for the country's municipalities in Pretoria. Not such good results once again this year.